And I wanted to talk about the tablets that we have available to us. And a lot of you have the iPad, which is made by Apple. There's not much to show you there except that, Apple makes an iPad. Then there's something called Android. So Ida and I have a couple of Android devices here. So the Android, which is a little different because these are all the guys that make Android devices. And then the other option is Microsoft Windows. So Microsoft Windows makes a tablet. And what we're going to talk about is mostly the iPad and the Android. So the things I wanted to talk about today were just some of the basic functions we're going to talk a little bit about. How to install some apps, but maybe you know how to do some of that already. Just some common problems that you've actually given me here to challenge myself. And any issues that you might have, which is part of that as well. So the top of the device, they have something called a status bar. So if you hold your device up, and you've probably noticed that you can rotate them, the screen rotates with it. But at the top, I just wanted to mention they have a status bar, it's called. It's when the screen is on. So we'll just take a look at mine here. When you actually turn the screen on, oh, this is good, right at the top. You see along the top here? There's just a status bar to give you some indication of what's going on. And I wanted to talk about the status bar a little bit. So that status bar has some little indicators along the top. And I just wanted to show you some common ones there. Is the Wi-Fi connection, so that you know you're hooked to Wi-Fi. Like right now, if you look at it, you probably shouldn't have any connection status. Nobody's hooked to Wi-Fi, are they? You might not have cellular service here. There's the bar that tells you the signal strength, how much strength you do have on Wi-Fi. Then there's a battery charging, battery running, and airplane mode. If you wanted to get on their Wi-Fi, we're not going to get on their Wi-Fi, by the way. So you go into this one here, it's called settings, and it looks the same on both devices. And over here it says Wi-Fi. It says I'm hooked to the Wi-Fi right now. You notice it says 55 plus. So if I look there, I'm actually hooked to the Wi-Fi in the building here. So I guess I've given a class here before. So I hooked up to their Wi-Fi. I don't know what their password is. But if you wanted to hook to Wi-Fi, you usually just pick the Wi-Fi you want to connect to and then enter the password. If we look at my status at the top, you see there's a little Wi-Fi signal, little Wi-Fi indicator there that shows that I've got Wi-Fi. So we'll talk a bit about the iPad. And this was just, and you've got this on the sheets there, just telling you what everything is. Like, on the bottom of the iPad, they have the little speakers that you can hear. They're not always that loud. Volume controls are at the top. Headset jack. You can actually plug headsets in, but the newer ones you can't. They take that plug-in away. And then I was talking about the status bar before. There's a camera on the front, so you have a camera on the front and the back. And they call that one at the top there the FaceTime camera. So if you're talking to your kids or something over the internet, they're just using the front camera, that's all. But there's another camera on the back. The apps are displayed on the screen, and you guys all have apps on the screen there. And there's a home button at the bottom. And on Ida's here, that home button is that round circle.
Yeah.
If you hit your home button twice, it shows you what's open. So here I'm going to open reminders. I hit my home button, takes me home. I'm going to open maps. And if I hit my home button twice, it shows all the applications I have open. And I don't want them open, so I just swipe them up to get rid of them. I think I just closed my PowerPoint again, sorry. So that was what that home button is for. You tap it twice, it shows you everything that's open. And then you can close them like Dawn is doing. And for Ida, she's got screen displays. They're just little buttons. I'll show you what those look like. So on the bottom of ours, we have these buttons. We got a square, a circle, and a triangle. And if we hit the circle, it takes us home. If we hit the square, it shows us what's open. And the triangle just takes us back. So I'll open a few things. So I'm opening Facebook and Twitter. So I'm at my home screen, and if I hit that square, it shows me I've got this open and this open and this open. A little bit different display because the phone is small, but so that home button is pretty important. And again, I was saying, so I just give you a list of icons that you might see. So with the Apple, the battery one, like you guys came with a dead battery, so that's a good one to know, the battery icon. Battery's low, vibrate, mute. You might have a new email, phone calls. I don't know if you're using it for phone calls, but that's just some of the different icons. And then I was thinking today things we could cover, and this was kind of like notes to myself, is we could cover things like how to choose your Wi-Fi. We did that a little bit. Fingerprint access. Do you guys use your fingerprint access?
Oh, I tried, it didn't work.
Okay. I don't use it. My home button here doesn't seem to work that well. And you'll see I've got this thing on the screen here. That's actually a home button physically impaired. You can use this home button instead, so I turned that thing on. But it's nice too for pointing at things. We could talk about using Siri, where you talk to it and say, Siri, can you get the internet for me?
What do you want to search for?
Pumpkin pie recipe.
Here's what I found.
Okay, so she's good for that. Or something my daughter does. Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Counting down.
So it'll start counting down. So you can cook your pie or something, your pumpkin pie. And does it work on yours? Let's get rid of this though because it'll done. So then we double click that home button and get rid of that. Get rid of that. So if you want Siri on, you have to go to the settings, and there's a Siri in search, and you can actually turn Siri on. I could turn her on to say, hey Siri, like they do, hey Google. But I don't have that. I have it set so that you have to touch the home button and then talk to her. Have you guys seen Today View? So I'm swiping. So when I'm on the screen here, if I swipe from the left side, it brings up something called Today View. So I've got mine set. It's telling me how much battery I got left. This one's set for battery. It's got some news. It looks like I'm following some kind of stock market here, and I don't know what the bottom is. But you can set it up so your weather's there. Or if there's something you do follow, see here I follow the weather. It says it's 0 degrees in Winnipeg. And at the bottom it says I can edit that. I could add something to it. Yeah, it kind of does, eh? Okay. So when your iPad's off, and you just hit the power button or that home button, if you slide from the left, it turns the camera on. It's just a quick way of getting the camera on. There, we get a picture of the video camera. There we go. If you like to organize things, like this screen isn't full, so I could actually take this app, I just touch it. There we go, I've held it long enough, and I could take it to the other screen and put it at the bottom.
Which app are you doing?
If I hold it long enough, it'll let me do it. There we go. And then I can move it back to the other side. I can move it back to the other side. Come on. There. Oh, that's not where I want it, though. See, I tend to have the things I use more often.
There we go.
Come on. Oh, I have to go back the other way. But it depends. If you have an organized life that you like to have things organized, I use these three a lot, so I like to have them on the last page. If I'm patient. There we go. There we go. Oh, I even have a blank page. So I just like having them together on that page. I usually type Google and then I just search for something. But it's also got news. So I could actually set up an account and then I could have customized news. So I just drag my finger down. It comes up with a display here. So there's one here, it's quick. I can turn airplane mode on. So again, it's just sliding, the top right sliding down. So the top one there is the airplane, if you want to turn airplane mode on. So you don't have to go into settings, you can just go here and... Now it just shows that it turned everything off. It turned off my Bluetooth, that little blue symbol. It turned off my Wi-Fi, and I have to assume that's cellular or something because I don't have cell, but... And then I can turn it back on. So that's really quick feature to turn on and off. I think there's a lock screen here.
Here's gone red.
Turns the sound off. This one, brightness of the screen. You notice how it changes the brightness? So that was this one here with the little eye on it. I notice this one is for sound here. I've got my sound turned off. They've got a camera. What's this one? Oh, that's a timer. So they have a timer here. I don't know what the bell is for. Did I write that down? It says silent mode. Silent mode is on. Silent mode is off. You notice I have a picture in the background? Do you guys all have pictures in your backgrounds? Or? No. So I wanted to show you where that is. You go into settings. And as you scroll down, they've got something called wallpaper. And if you click on wallpaper, you can choose to wallpaper. You can choose a new wallpaper. So there are two screens you can put it on. So I'll say oh, I don't want to change mine, but let's do this picture. That looks all right. So I choose it. And then it says set, so I set it. And I've got a choice. I can use that picture for my home screen or my lock screen, or both. Because you can two different pictures, okay? So the lock screen is when you just turn it on. And the home screen is when you're looking at all your apps. Okay. So I'll just do it for the lock screen. And we're done. So now when I come off of mine, it's got those trees. So when I want to learn about something, I go to Google. And I don't know if that's a Google app or not, but I have Google on there. And I want to learn beginner iPad. Let's say just beginner iPad. So I'll type in beginner iPad, I'll do a search. But what I do then is I look at the top and they've got everything or videos. And I want to look for a video. So I click on videos. So I'm only looking at beginner iPad videos. And looking here, this one says Complete Beginner's Guide to iPad. So I'll click on that one. And I'll watch that one. So this one's going to go through how to use your iPad, just like we're doing. So I have to tap on the screen because I want to turn this thing off, and I have to hit that X up there to get rid of it. It says App Store, so you click on the App Store, but you have to have an Apple account. And for Huawei, you go to Google Play. So if I wanted to get a YouTube one, I would search YouTube. Hit search. But YouTube is on the right here, this one on the right. So I've got it, it's just asking, do I want to update it? I don't. But as you scroll through here, it's got different apps you could download. Google Chrome, Messenger, Google. There's all sorts of apps you could get, but you need a Apple account. But you need a Google account. I just wanted to show you some here. There are some, see this one here costs $3.99. And that's what you have to be careful of. Some are free, some cost money. So if you're going to use a Google account, then you have to have money in the Google account, or pardon me, the Apple account. But that's where you go to download apps. And for our Android users, we go to this, it says Play Store. And again, they've got that little search icon at the top, so you type in there YouTube and search, and it says I could open it. It's already installed on my phone, I guess, because it's saying open. Because if you go to look for them, usually they say install here, and I'd click on install to install it. Anyway, when I see I got skip the dishes, but we're going to look at something that you might find useful. If you're looking on the internet, you usually use this Safari, and this is a web browser. Do you have it? It looks like almost like a compass at the bottom on mine. But that's for browsing the internet. So this was that page I was talking about where I put that young fellow, a link to that young fellow's 35-minute instruction video. It's pretty good. It's on YouTube. But I wanted to talk about these A's at the top here. Because I can increase the size of the font with these. You notice what I'm doing? I'm making it appear bigger or smaller. That's 85%, 100%, 115. And I thought if people were having trouble seeing things, the only thing is you have to scroll across the screen to see everything, but
Oh, and what happened?
but that's something to watch. If you see that two A's together, that means you can adjust the text. So you might be reading a book and you can actually adjust the text on it, what you're looking at. I thought that might be useful. See, mine seems to run best at 85%. If you're looking at something, you can, just over here in the top left corner, if you click on that, it opens up my bookmarks. And I have some favorite bookmarks for, well, here's the Charleswood Active Living. So there's shortcuts to find things. If I close it again, then I can look at the Active Living website. It doesn't fit on the page. There we go. If I wanted to look at ER wait times in Winnipeg, I've bookmarked that. Their website's slow. I will go somewhere else. They also have reading list. So I was following COVID on this reading list. I don't know why it's different than Bookmarks, but I was trying to follow things here, and it's kind of a reading, different things I was reading on. Let's go to this one, Canadian recipes. Do you look up recipes?
Yes, I do.
All Recipes is the best website I've seen for recipes.
All recipes.
It doesn't have stories, it has recipes.
Oh, okay.
But that's just things that I put on my reading list. So the way you do that, we'll just get rid of this. Joomla. Well, this works. Or we'll go, we'll go to that Charleswood page. So to put this on a reading list, like I want to come back to this page, you were saying something about, who was it?
Yeah, finding stuff
Yeah.
after, yeah.
So this one, let's find something. What's a page you'd like to go to? What is this one? Health Info Base Canada. So let's say I want to come back to this page sometime. So there's a button up here. It's a little square with an arrow coming out of it.
Right.
So that's a share button where I could share it with someone. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong button. See the plus one there? So I go into plus. Oh, that's a new page. Sorry, I've done the wrong thing. Go to the share one then. Okay. So if I click on that little box with the arrow, I can share it with people if I want to, but I can add it as a bookmark, or I could add it as a favorite, or I could add it to the reading list. So I'll add it to the reading list.
You do.
Okay? So if I ever want to come back to this someday, I can go to my reading list. So there's the reading list. And I've got far too much on here, but it was one of these. I guess it was the first one, this one, yeah. And I can go back there. The only thing is, you could end up with a lot of reading lists or a lot of bookmarks. But I put some bookmarks into favorites here, because these are my favorite ones. And I think this is, yeah, that's what I wanted to bookmark, was that St. Charles page. So I go click on the square with the arrow coming out of it, and I'll add it as a bookmark this time, and I'll put it in my favorites, and I'll call it training. I can actually give it a name and save it. So now if I want to find it, I go to those bookmarks, favorites, and it should be listed here. I named it training. There it is at the bottom, training. And there's that page. So if it's something you go to lots, and it's hard to say what that might be, but if you look at mine, I go to these, I was going to the vaccine site a lot. The St. James 55 Plus Center is one of them. These are my Toastmaster friends. The Charleswood Center here I go to. I thought ER wait times was a good one to check out once in a while in case I went to ER. How are the times going? Wait time 4 hours. At Health Sciences, 8.5 hours waiting. Grace, 4.25 hours. So everybody's at the Health Sciences, where the wait time is the longest. But even 4 hours, 6 hours, yeah. How to unclutter your life. Oh, here was Senior Scope. That's something else I like to look at once in a while. So they're just useful things to go there quick, and it's that little button at the top left on the iPad. There'd probably be something similar on, I would think on yours. I wonder what you use, Ida. Google Chrome or something? So what they do is they go to settings, and down here there should be on the left side, you notice the one that says mail,
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's accounts, and you can add an account, and then they give you an option.
Excuse me, I can't find a count on here.
That's okay. So if you've got a photo, this is where I went to school when I was a kid. So you've got a photo, and they've got that same thing at the top, that share icon, that little square with the arrow. If I wanted to share this with someone, I can email it to them. You see here I got email. I could email it, I could send a message, I could put it on Twitter, Facebook, Zoom, Messenger. So if I wanted to, I don't have email on this thing, but if I wanted to send it to someone in Messenger, So I'll send it to Lloyd, he's a nice guy, and there. So that just sent they sent a picture to myself. So then if I went, let's say I'm Lloyd, that guy now, and I'm wondering, oh, somebody sent me something, so I open up Messenger, and I just got a message from this Lloyd Gwillem guy, and it's a picture of a school that he went to school in. So that's how you share. You just use that share button. It's useful because the two PowerPoints I was showing you, they're on my desktop at home, but to get them on an iPad, I have to either email them or send them in Messenger. So I send them to myself in Messenger because Apple, it's hard to get stuff onto this iPad. So that's a nice little feature when you took pictures and you want to share them with someone. There's my main street. Many years before I was around. And you just hit that share thing. So that gives you quite a range. AirDrop, Messenger, Mail, Twitter, Facebook.